Alright, let's get this party started in 3. Hello, Games Done Quick Submission Committee. My name is TotalRun2412, and I am here today to present for you Pit People Any Percent. First, TLDR, I'm going to put some words and some timestamps and stuff in the description, so if you just want to skip to those, feel free, but also watch the whole thing because I love this game. It's really funny. Every moment of it is like, pure comedic gold. And, you know, that's the point. This game is fun, and I love playing it. But this is a top-down, turn-based tactics game, much like Fire Emblem or XCOM, but made by the Behemoth, the same developers who did Castle Crashers and Battleblock Theater and Alien Hominid Invasion. So if you've played any of their games before, you know their, general humor, and goofy style. And if you haven't played any of their games before, here's a fart noise. That's the type of game this is. It is so silly, it's so much fun. Small note for GDQ things, gore can be turned off, but I leave it on because it's like the type of gore where you explode into a fountain of ketchup and have like 3 rib cages. It's funny. This game is fun. Can I say that again? This game is fun. I love the humor in this game so much. Unfortunately, you do skip all the tactics, so but it definitely still comes through. You do have to do all this setting stuff before a run, so it does give me a good time to talk about the game and, all the stuff, like I mentioned the fart noises, there's a poop button. Look at this. There's a poop button in this game. The game has a poop button. It's not useful for the speedrun, but I might do it anyways, just because why not? There's a poop button. I love this game. Even if we can't listen to the best music, I still love this game. Like, it's so good. It's so funny. But it's just a wacky game. Estimate will be hour 19. I have run this at 2 online marathons. 2? Hi, camera, could you please? Ta-da! Okay. I've run this game at 2 marathons before. Midwest Speed Fest, Fall Frenzy, and Hidden Gem Rally. So, I don't know, I like this game and I really want to show it off to more people because it's good. So, without any further ado, ladies, gentlemen, and gentle-thems, of course, we will get this party started in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Alright. So, welcome, one and all, to the Pit People, where we immediately get to lose time because I bought the developers' other games. That's right, this is pay to lose. And, in addition, we are paying to buy this character who is also going to lose us time because this game has RNG on top of RNG on top of RNG, and it's great, and I love it for that. It just makes this game so interesting and chaotic to run every single time. And we'll get into some of that RNG in just a sec after I make my purchases and get out into the big wide open universe that we will explore to our heart's content. By that I'm going to make a beeline straight to the objectives. Because, speedrun, right? We'll get all the money though. Ooh, money. So, to start off this game, we skip the intro. The intro is long. We don't want to do it because speedrun, speedrun, you know how speedruns work. You're watching a speedrun marathon. Or, in this case, you are submitting team for a speedrun marathon. Anyways, so, in the intro, we are given 5 main story characters, and we are told to go pick up another. But since I skipped the intro, I don't go pick up another, and the game automatically gives me an extra unit for free for skipping the intro, which is really nice, because we don't have to go do one of the intro missions of capturing a 6th character. I just hit space, it's fine. The problem with that is there are only 2 character races that we have access to at the start of the game. Those are humans, who I'll talk about in a sec, and these little fellows. Cupcakes, look at them. They're so cuppy and cakey and delicious. I dropped it far away from me, it's fine. But cupcakes in this game are the healer race. So, if you are a cupcake, you are dealing 0 damage to anything ever. And for a speedrun where we're just going to try and, go fast and kill things fast, I don't know what I dropped as well. you know, having that no damage unit is suboptimal, shall we say? It's not the good juice. So, unfortunately, our extra unit here, Error, yeah, you are an error, I agree, is a cupcake. And so for this first map, we will be dealing with a little bit of slowdown, but who cares? This game's gonna have a bunch of random events that slow us down. You just gotta roll with it, and luckily we do get a bunch of extra healing, which is kind of convenient sometimes. You know, just, you know, cupcake, here we go, okay. Kind of convenient sometimes. So, no biggie. We'll treat Error and the Cannon Cupcake, whose name is Gluten. We'll treat them very well, I'm sure. And definitely, there's nothing bad that's going to happen to them in about 10 seconds. Actually, it won't be 10 seconds, it'll be like a minute. But foreshadowing is a narrative device. But let's talk about our humans, because we have 4 of them, and they are very important and are going to be, you know, with us throughout most of it on spoilers. These 2 won't be. Foreshadowing is a narrative device. I already used that joke. But Sophia is the first unit on our docket. I give her the Hattie Haddington head because her default helmet is slow, and we don't want to do slow. We want to do fast. Yes, I do here. Go. Okay. Sophia has a light sword, which doesn't deal a ton of damage, but it attacks twice, as you can see. So that more than makes up for it. And in her offhand, we give her a net. Now, nets deal 0 damage. So you might be thinking, okay, Turtle, you were just like really mean to the cupcake for them doing 0 damage. Why would you give Sophia a thing that makes her deal 0 damage? I'm glad you asked, hypothetical viewer. That's because the net is 100% required for some stuff that happens later on in the run. Foreshadowing is a narrative device. I'm just gonna keep saying that because I keep foreshadowing things. Because it's so useful. But yeah. And in addition, having a light sword and a net also means that Sophia gets 4 movement, whereas a normal human only has 3. Sophia gets 1 extra movement, so she's super duper utility. We like Sophia's gear. Next up on our list is the blondie here, Yosef. Yosef has throwing axes, which can be used for melee range. You're going to see that here in a sec. But they can also be thrown. That just allows me for, again, utility, a lot like Sophia's extra movement. I can attack when there are only 3 spaces in front of, say, this gate here. I can attack with Yosef from range and still get stuff done using him. So, it's very convenient to have those throwing axes. Last, and certainly not least, we have Pipistrella, or Pipistrella? Pippi. Her name's Pippi. We have Pippi, and the guy with the twirly curly mustache, who's Horatio. Both of them have a weapon called a mallet, I think is what it's technically is, but I call it a helmet smasher. Helmet smashers deal quite a bit of damage, but they also get bonus damage on enemies with helmets. Like these guys, who are a faction known as the Helmetites. On their ship is wrote Helms Forever. Their leader is named Helmetor. So, you know, we get bonus damage against most of them. And it's really good. A lot of the early game enemies in the story have helmets, so these 2 will be wielding some helmet smashers and getting a bunch of bonus damage through a good chunk of this run, which is bigly beautiful. Okay. I must do strategy and I must do it fast. In addition, Horatio also gets a buff. You can see those crowns floating around him. The buff I believe is called the Hero buff. You can only put it on 1 unit in your team, 1, but it gives them bonus damage, bonus health, bonus evade, bonus movement, bonus everything. The big thing is the bonus damage and bonus movement, though, of course, because, you know, speedrun. So, well, he is going to be hitting like a rock. Well, not maybe like a truck. He hits like a little lollipop truck. Like an ice cream truck that carries lollipops. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyways, there we go. That's the first map done already. Cool. Good. Second map. So, we have managed to sacrifice both of our cupcakes successfully. That was very much intentional. Again, they don't heal us. They do heal us. They don't do any damage, so, they get to distract some enemies for us while I bring the real heroes of the team on and up. I still don't know where I dropped him. He might be rolled away. Maybe he's under my chair. I don't know. the cupcakes disappeared just like they did in the game. But here we have our first main instance of enemy spawn RNG. So that first chapter had static spawn. That is the only chapter in this run that will have completely static spawn. Every other chapter in this run has a random number of enemies spawn on every map. So in this map, for example, you could have anywhere between 3 and 5 enemies spawn in. We got 3, which is really good. You know, the lowest number and therefore the fastest number. So we are happy about that. Hi, you can hear go. And our objective is to kill Helmetor. Story thing, he killed Pippi's dad, and Pippi's mad about it. And so she's vengeance and stuff. It's, you know, very typical hero stuff. Again, we are the heroes. This will come up later. Trust you me. But you might notice I'm not doing very good at killing Helmetor. In fact, I'm actually killing his minions. Oops. That's actually intentional. Not oops. Because this game has a very important mechanic that we are going to make use of, and it's the reason I foreshadowed Sophia needing a net earlier. Yeah, it's coming into play now. Basically, this game has a recruitment mechanic, or as I like to call it, kidnapping. In order to kidnap a unit, that enemy must be the last unit alive on the map. And then you throw a net at them, and then they join your party. So, in order to recruit Helmetor into a party, he does need to be the last unit on the map. So we take out all of his minions first, which we will be able to do probably this turn, assuming here. Yeah, sure, that's close enough. We might get some dialogue from him, but it'll be fine. Because we're going to, yep, there's the dialogue, but there is the capture. We now have recruited Helmetor, the first boss of the story, into our party. Look at you go! Yeah, look at me go. I'm going indeed. And as that little blurb just showed off, the Helmetor is a type of unit known as a Cyclops. Cyclopses are big, strong lads, as you can see by his massively bulging muscles. And as you can see here, yeah, look at his biceps. Oh yes, he is a big man. And oops, I need to split. Whoops. This game doesn't have an auto splitter. I've been playing too much of other games. So, yeah, he hits like a truck. He is our best damage dealer in the party right now, and probably will be for the rest of the run. The big downside to the Cyclops is that they only have 2 base movement, and the only way to improve it is to severely lower their damage, which we're not going to do. We really like his damage, so he is a slow little crawly boy as he wanders slowly across the ground with his slow little feet and stuff. Where's the entrance to the... There's not an entrance down here. We'll talk about the maps in a sec, but basically, Helmetor is a mighty glacier archetype. I think that's the name for it in TV tropes, where he will, he'll slowly walk at you, very slowly, but once he gets to you, oh boy, your face is going to completely curse flowing. And so, I hope you are ready to see the majesty of Helmetor shown off in this map, because look at all those targets. We need to take out all of those units, and while I'm doing that, let me tell you a little bit about the lore of this game. So, Horatio, the guy with the curly mustache, is the main character who you first meet in the intro, and during that intro, his son Hansel is kidnapped by a giant space bear. And so we need to save Hansel from the giant space bear. But, we kind of destroyed a spaceship in the last cutscene that I skipped, so we don't have a way to get into space. We need another spaceship, basically. Luckily, our friend Yosef is a demi-cyclops, which means one eye is in his head, as you can see, and the other eye can predict the future and can tell us where a spaceship is. Too bad Yosef lost his other eye, and he doesn't even know where it is. But he has a friend who does know where it is, and that friend is at the Bloodbath Lagoon, and in order to get into the Bloodbath Lagoon, we need a golden ticket. The last golden ticket was right in our grasp, but this guy was in line right before us. His name is Jerkomedes. He will definitely not reappear in this game, wink. He took the last golden ticket, and in order for us to get it back, we are coming here to retreat retirement home in order to kill a bunch of old people cupcakes, which I'm doing spectacularly at. Like, look at all of them. They're going to die of old age in any second. This is actually the end boss fight for Metal Gear Solid 3. Yeah, if you just wait, they all die of old age. Trust me, it's fine. So, to recap, we are going... I got cough. To recap, we are going to murder a bunch of old people cupcakes to get the golden tickets so we can go to the Bloodbath Lagoons, we can find Yosa's friends who knows where Yosa's Eye is, so we can find Yosa's Eye, so we can get Yosa's Eye, so Yosa's Eye can predict the future and tell us where a spaceship is, so we can get the spaceship, so we can go to space, so we can fight a giant space bear, so we can save Horatio Son Uncle from the giant space bear. Yes, it will be on the test at the end of the run. If you were paying attention and taking notes, ta-da! And that is chapter 2. So yeah, obviously you can murder the old people cupcakes if you want, but it's slow and bad. And, you know, speedrun. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to leave them in peace to die of old age or whatever, and Jerk Media just gives us the golden ticket anyways. So that is chapter 2, the easiest chapter of the run. It only gets downhill from here, friends. Oh boy, I hope you're prepared, because we are going to get into chapter 3, Clash at Bloodbath Lagoon. And like I mentioned earlier, this is a good time to talk about some maps. So there are, in this game, Pit People, that's the game we're playing, wow. There are 5 overall maps. They are, I believe, 150 by 150 hexes wide, 150 wide by 150 tall. They're big. They are bigly big. They are massive and really, really hard to memorize. I've started, like, making, like, actual maps of every single hex in every single overworld. It takes, they're so big, so much time, so big. And that makes them hard to memorize. Luckily, I do know where I am right now, and this is actually a very good spawn for the early game. Because where you spawn is random, on which map you spawn is random. So, sometimes you can just get RNG screwed. That's this game, because, oh boy. Chapter 3, time to introduce you to more RNG, because this is where we really kick this game's selling point, which is Chaos Hunga Bunga mode, into high gear. So we just saw some of that. This guy has like a 10% chance to knock you back, and he did it there. Big mean. But that's good RNG. Both of our cannons managed to hit an enemy. Because I don't actually control my cannons. It's a good mechanic, I promise. I actually don't get to control any of my targeting, which is something I really need to talk about, because it is the main RNG point and the big skill check in this speedrun. So, if you've ever played Fire Emblem before, or XCOM, or any other like tactical game, like, you know, you typically get to move your unit, choose what weapon they use, sometimes choose what skills they use. We're going to hit the main boss, you get deal 15 damage, good RNG. But in this game, you might notice I'm not actually choosing like a weapon or who I attack. I'm just moving my units. I don't even get to pick the order that they move. They all move at the same time. So how do my units choose who they attack? Well, it's random. Dear friends, like everything else in this game. There is some way of changing it, but I'll talk about that in a sec. We do have to chant for CHOG to appear, CHOG, and I'm going to chant with the audience here. CHOG! 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 That's a very important thing. I hope you in the audience were chanting along. We will be doing it later on. So, you know, you'll get to join me then for our second round of the CHOG chant. But, yeah, basically, units attack enemies based on proximity and randomness. If there is only one valid target, like in this case, where Horatio is only standing next to Captain Leviathan, his boss, he will attack her guaranteed. But, for example, if Yosef is in this spot, he has a 1 in 4 chance to attack Leviathan, 1 in 4 chance to attack that, 1 in 4 chance, 1 in 4, etc., etc. He just chooses one target at random from any valid target nearby. And to range, he can have up to, I think it's 12 valid targets. So, you know, it can get very hectic very, very quickly. The skill point is basically just figuring out which spaces are those guaranteed spaces and getting your units into them. So for example, this is a guaranteed 2 range space, this is a guaranteed 1 range space. I put my strongest 1 range damage dealer in that space. Unfortunately, Leviathan is playing defensive right now. There's no guaranteed spot to hit her right now, but we will make do. Leviathan is, okay, something got weird with my movement there, it's fine, don't worry about it. Leviathan is a type of unit known as a Gorgon. They are also fairly strong, a lot like Cyclops is, but instead of being strong themselves, every time they're damaged, they have a chance to spawn these little minion babies, who, you know, aren't really, like, strong enough themselves, but they soak damage, and here you go. The babies, basically stop you from hitting what you want to hit. So, okay, luckily Helmetor hit her, but he had a 50% chance to attack the baby instead. But we managed to beat Leviathan, and the audience is chanting him. So audience, you know what that means. Chog! 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 Yes, that is right. Ladies, gentlemen, and envies of the audience, your chanting has helped me summon the one, the only, the CHOG! We have summoned CHOG. This is CHOG. Everyone say hi to CHOG. Also say hi to Uvulor. CHOG is not Yosa's friend, unfortunately, as cool as that would be. Yosa's friend is actually Uvulor, little parasite dude who's like, up in CHOG's mouth. And so Uvulor knows where Yosa's eye is, which you heard me do the lore thing like 10 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago, actually. But we need him to tell us where Yosa's eye is. Unfortunately, he's not playing ball right now. He's being a little stinky. And, you know, attacking us with a bazooka. So, we are going to use this game's most reliable method of convincing people to help you, which is the power of extreme violence. And so we're going to, you know, beat him up in order to get him to help us. So, that is the goal of the humans in this chapter. As you can see, if all 4 of my humans are attacking a tentacle, then the tentacle will fall in one turn. Most of the time, there's like maybe a 1 in 25 chance it doesn't, which we hope to not see today, but well, Yosef's dead. So we will have a little bit of slowdown now in the second half of this chapter, but no worries, it just gives me more time to talk about all the beautiful and crazy things in this game. Like the worst enemy types in the game! Hooray! These are of course, it happens as soon as I bring them up. I absolutely jinx it there. But these are Octoclops. They are a support type unit that doesn't deal a ton of damage and aren't really tanky. Their big thing is that they have 2 different status effects that they can inflict at any given time. The first one, you'll see a question mark flip back and forth on the person. That is called Confusion. That's a recurring status effect that a couple of different sources in this game can provide. So, when a unit is confused, it gets a chance to attack allies instead of enemies. So, for example, since Pippi and Horatio are standing next to each other, if one of them was confused, they might hit each other instead of the enemy that's also right next to them. Again, all RNG, of course, because that's this game. So, yeah, Helmetor now has that status effect, as you can see. That's why we leave Helmetor alone in the back, because with that status effect on him, if there's no one else near him, you don't have to worry about it. There are other status effects, though, that you saw me, like, groan and complain about, and with good reason, because it's an awful status effect. That is called painting, I believe is, like, the technical term. It turns your allied unit into an enemy unit for the entire turn. You do not get to move the unit, they do not get to attack, they do not get to move, they do not get to have fun. They basically turn into a rock for a turn, and it is not good for speedrunning because we want to do fast things, and 0 DPS and 0 movement is not fast, if you couldn't tell. So we really don't like Octoclops for that effect in particular. That is another reason why we leave Helmetor back, because Helmetor can one-shot them most of the time. RNG and everything. But most of the time, Helmetor will just run after them and he'll just give them a big, mighty swing on his big, mighty mace. I was going to say big, mighty fist. He does have big, mighty fists, though. He is a lad. Look at him. He's roughly the size of a barn. And that leaves our humans up to here to start what are called CHOG cycles. So, Uvalor again is hiding in CHOG's mouth, unable to be seen, but if we come up there and we smack CHOG on his meaty jowls, he will eventually go bleh, like you see there, and reveal Uvalor to us. Now, 1, 2, 4, this should work. This does not work. It's like debating. I debated it. So, when Uvalor takes any instance of damage when he's outside, he will retreat right back into CHOG's mouth. And that means we want to get as much damage as possible on him in one turn. So there, I only could have had 2 of my humans actually manage to get in range. So I've delayed a turn in order to get all 3 humans in range, just to get as much damage as possible on Uvalor. Because optimally, you want to have 3 CHOG cycles. We might not get that here because Yosef is dead, but we're still going to try for it. So all 3 of our humans basically need to be hitting CHOG on any, or not CHOG, hitting Uvalor on any turn where he is exposed in order to get close to a 3 CHOG cycle. Let's talk about one more thing before I take a quick breather, and that is my units dying and healing. So, I mentioned that, cupcakes are the healer units, and that I ditched them. I ditched my healing. So, obviously, my units can die. I did turn permanent off, because I'm not, crazy. Doing a speedrun with permanent on would be a little dum-dum, if you don't pardon my French. That wasn't French. So, Yosef will revive come the next chapter, but during this chapter we do lose out on his DPS, or damage per turn. So, you might be wondering, without cupcakes, how on earth do you keep any of your units healthy, like Helmatory here is in the bleed state, because his health is low? Well, hypothetical viewer. This game has a level up system, where your units get stronger the more they fight. You played an RPG before, right? So, hitting things and killing things. Oh, what a good example, Hermidor. Thank you, buddy. Pat on that head. Every time units get enough experience, they level up. Now, leveling up does have some other bonuses, like it does give a little bit more, a little tiny percentage more health and stuff, but it's really not all that worth it in the long run. What is the big effect of leveling up is that your unit gets fully healed when they level up, which is very good. So, yeah, we very much need those full heals in the middle of some maps. You might see me, if a unit is bleeding, actually throw them into danger and try and prioritize getting them killed to get that bonus kill experience, and therefore level up, and therefore get healed, and therefore be alive. Good things for people. So, we're like 1 hit away from a 3 cycle. Don't worry, it's fine. We have basically nothing left to fear except more Octodrop spawns. There are like 12 of them that spawn on this map. If you want to capture a unit, you have to deal with all 12 of the Octoclop spawns. It is awful. Octoclops are just the worst, man. But yeah, we basically have nothing left to fear from this map. Just gonna, smack CHOG on his meaty jowls. I love the word jowls. It's such a good word. And then chapter 3 will be finished. So I am going to take a small breather during the marathon run. This would be a perfect time to fit in 1 or 2 good donations. But yeah, I'm gonna take a breather. That's the noise. I'm holding shit. Thank you. Means we have beaten Chapter 3. Congratulations!
Shame you're still alive too.
So yeah, this chapter, that one went incredibly fast. And then we got a good spawn point on the overworld as well. So even though Yosef was lost, we still saved a lot of time, as you can see, in that chapter. Unfortunately, this spawn point is not great for Chapter 4, but we'll make do anyways. Crack knuckles and let's get into it. Because now we are fully in the mid-game. So, Chapter 4 is actually my favorite chapter, in the entire game. It's so much fun. It's so funny and so clever. Like, all the dialogue and writing. I don't know if I can praise this game enough. It is so good. But you may have to play it for yourself, because I'm skipping all the dialogue super fast, because speedrun, obviously. But, you know, please play the game yourself. It's a joy and a wonder. And I hope I'm going to not hit a roadblock here. As we make our way up. Right, lore! Let me talk about the lore! Yes! So, in the cutscene that I skipped, Yosef does some unspeakable things to Ubilor. Eats Ubilor. And Ubilor is now inside Yosef's mouth and tells us that his other eye is at Mount Olympus up here. So we come up to Mount Olympus, and we are like, oh, let's just cross this lovely rainbow bridge to get into Mount Olympus. No. So, the guy who I lied and said wouldn't come back, don't battle me, overruled enemy, thank you. The guy who I lied about and said wouldn't come back, did come back. He is borrowing the rainbow bridge from us, and so we need that, and we're like, please, can you give us back? He's like, well, maybe I'll give you the rainbow bridge back if you deliver me one orphan. And we're like, that's a weird request, but okay, I mean, this world has an orphanage called Randall's Discount Orphanisms just down the road. Come on down to Randall's Discount Orphanisms. Right now, there's a 50% off deal. Get 2 orphans for the price of 1. Wow! And so that's what we're going to be doing. We are going to be collecting ourselves one of these little, lovable orphans. And so, this is the chapter that really begins to introduce to us the different enemy types in this game. So, we've seen a couple so far: humans, cupcakes, Cyclops, Gorgon, Octoplops. But, actually, you know what? How do you stand here? So the first one we should talk about, I have a plushie of this one as well, is the mushroom. Can you look at the camera? His bandana is in his eyes. Hold on, let me fix it. Oh, see, he has a little face. He's a little mushroom guy. He's also now on the floor somewhere. Mushrooms are an AoE poison damage unit. So you can see they fart and all around them become very poisonous. However, I threw them on the floor. I should have not done that, because they have big heads and those count as helmets for some reason. So helmet smasher units like Helmet Horror, who has a helmet smasher, yes, he betrays his people, I know, it's great. Also Horatio, also Pippi, they just obliterate him. So he's done so. Gone. No more guy to worry about. Next up, because he's almost also dead, is this robot. Robots are actually very, very scary in certain circumstances, which I'll get into later, but robots have 2 forms of attack, one of which is a punchy melee attack, which has a chance to stun, and the other one of which is a ranged, like, bouncing, jumpy lightning thing. We'll see more robots later, and you can see what they do later, because, you know, I obliterated that one into space dust. Actually, it wasn't space dust, it was, like, robot dust? What are robots made out of? Metal. It was metal dust! We obliterate. We also see a human here. Human is a bye-bye. And last but not least is this troll. So, trolls are a lot like Cyclops. They also do a lot of damage. They have a little bit better move, but a little less damage. Another thing that they have, though, is they heal themselves every turn. So, instead of fighting that troll, we just leave him alive and capture him because we need to bring an orphan. Luckily, like I mentioned, Randall's Discount Orphanism is having a 2-for-1 sale this weekend. Hooray, friends! And so, we will also bring Cornelius Happy Days, the plucky, young, lovable orphan, on the road with us. And he is the only good orphan. One of the other dialogues that the orphans can give, and I quote, "I did not choose the orphan life," which, yes, means exactly what you think it does. But Cornelius is a good orphan, and we're going to present with Jerkomedes, and surely nothing will go wrong. I don't know why we're in a battle map right now. We're just gonna give him the orphan, and Jerkomedes made him explode. And that's because, and again, I quote, Jerkomedes wanted a fresh orphan, which also means exactly what you think it does. This game's writing it's so good. Please, buy and play this game. Side quests are also very good. Like, just everything about this game. I love it so much. And again, this chapter is the peak, the creme de la creme, in my personal opinion. Okay. So yeah, Jerkamides is a little man. He wanted a fresh orphan, and we did not provide. So he sicks his minions on us, and it's actually very good that he sicks his minions on us because his minions include pixies. Oh boy, another unit type to discuss, and in fact, a great unit type to discuss because pixies are the glass cannon race of this game. They have very low health. That's their only downside. That's their only downside. The rest of it is all upsides because pixies deal AoE fireball. They blast little AoE fireballs at you. So AoE, big damage. The fireballs themselves also deal like up to double-digit damage, which is about on par with Helvetor. But they're also AoE, so they are super duper strong. In addition, despite being quite what's the word I'm looking for? Quite fragile, they are also super evasive. They have one of the highest evasion stats in the game. It is particularly hard to hit them. So their low health kind of doesn't even matter all that much. Like, they're just so good. They also don't have a movement penalty on them. They have 3 base movement, which I can upgrade to 4 with the hero buff, which you're going to see once I recruit one. So yeah, pixies, absolutely goated, absolutely sauced. We love them. And so the fact that this chapter gives us one for free is just... this chapter can actually give you 2 pixies for free. One of them can show up in the orphan map, which is really, really lucky if you get it to happen. But, you know, RNG, so we don't ever count on it. We will just try and do with what we got. You're almost always going to get one in this chapter. I think I've only had like 2 runs ever that don't get a pixie on this chapter. There's a backup chapter that you use the Cyclops that is guaranteed to show up on this chapter, and actually had a world record with Cyclops backup. So yeah, you don't actually lose all that much time in the end, which is good because, you know, speedrun. So we're going to finish off these units. This unit here doesn't matter, but in terms of like the recruitment, that little baby dude who we'll talk about the unit type in a couple chapters doesn't count, and the last other unit left alive will be automatically given to you as puppy person. So we specifically ensure that a pixie stays alive for a long time, so we can get a pixie as our puppy person who will be joining us from here on out as our star unit, because pixies are. Have I mentioned pixies are good? Pixies are great. So yeah, no, very, very strong. Unfortunately, we are a little bit far away from the home base on the overworld, so I'm going to once again just rest my voice for like a minute and a half. Good time for donations and marathon run as I just navigate this overworld for the bitsies. It's done, you idiot. Don't ever reproach me or my son. Okay, so Jerkamides in the end decides that, okay, he didn't actually say fresh orphan. I mean, I actually haven't read the dialogue and like since I played this game yet, but he decides to be nice. He's like, you know, you guys did bring me an orphan. That's fine enough, you know, and he'll give us the Rainbow Bridge back. So thank you, Jerkamides. We can now continue with the plot of the video game that I'm going to speedrun. So yeah, we're going to head right back up. Mount Olympus is in the same exact spot as last time. So conveniently, I've already cleared a path through the clouds that I can just follow right back. Maybe grab a little bit more moolah on the way because, you know, we like money. It helps us buy more nitro, which I am trying to save because Chapter 6 is going to require a lot of nitro, and this is Chapter 5, not Chapter 6. Here we are at Mount Olympus, where I hope you are ready to see our pixie companion at work, because after this cutscene, you are not going to be able to see our pixie companion at work. Psych! Debated. That is because Chapter 5 is Chapter 5. Camera, hold on, let me put that. Is that better? That's better. Hi! Chapter 5 is Chapter 5. So, of the 7 story chapters in this game, most of them have 2 different maps that you need to complete. The only exceptions are Chapter 2, the one with all the old people cupcakes. That was only 1 map. And then there's Chapter 5, Mount Olympus. This chapter has not 1, not 2, not 3, not 5, but 4 whole maps that I need to complete. And the reason why there are so many, dear viewer, is because the first 3 of them are stealth maps. Now, the stealth maps are actually a very fun and interesting change the pace casually, but in a speedrun, oh, the stealth maps, man. These have no RNG at all, man. It's just... As you might be thinking, Turtle. Speedrunners typically like low RNG situations where they're like, you know, in control and not up to the whims of fate. But, no. This is pit people where RNG is the point of playing the game. So, the fact that this chapter doesn't have that means that I have done this exact route dozens of times, and I will do it again dozens of times. It's... As a speedrun, it's boring. But that means it is a good time for me to take a breath, hand it over to some donations, and in a sec, when I don't have to make turns, get some hydration. Oh boy, I've been talking for like 40 non-stop minutes, and my voice is going to need some big water. Big water. Nice. Should probably stop talking in like a weird voice, because that's a little more harsh on my throat, but at the same time it's funny, so who cares? Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna drink water now. Stay hydrated, everyone. Maybe don't go as much water as that, but again, I have been talking for 40 straight minutes, so I need it a little bit. I like to have fun. You know, I like to do... This game is weird and goofy, so I get to be weird and goofy. Got it? You got it. Conveniently enough, something to mention about Chapter 3 is that you do get healed in between all of the maps, so I can just tank that laser down there and, like, not care about it, which is good. In addition, another nice thing that the developers added is, for Map 2, you can go over here and talk to Yokehead the Gnome if you picked up the key card on Map 1, which is optional, but Yokehead the Gnome just yeets you straight to the end. Yeet, Toby! And by doing that, you can skip the longest of the 3 stealth maps. It's just... The Behemoth very much blessed the speedrun with that one, because, you know, we just get to skip all of the static, no RNG movement to this map. It's great. 10 out of... Actually, not 10 out of 10. We just have to, you know, do the movement, but, you know... or do, like, half the movement, or a third of the movement, or whatever. Anyways, map 3. No. I mean, I said there was no RNG, like none, zero, zip, nada. Maybe a little. Because there is one instance of RNG that matters in this map. You're about to see him spawn in a second. And in a second, I mean, one more turn. Here he is, ladies, gentlemen, and envies of the audience. Let me introduce you to Paul Minotaur. He is a Cyclops-type unit, and they have an inherent chance to knock back units they hit. You might have seen Helmator do it a couple times already. It's like 10%. Will he do it and ruin this attempt? Find out now. He didn't. Okay. It's not actually ruining an attempt. You just restart the map and just take the 10% chance again. Like, no biggie. It costs like 30 seconds. I think I've had it happen in World Record once before, so it doesn't matter. We just walk right on by him if he doesn't knock us back. Ta-da! And there is the end of that stealth segment. And now, luckily, we get to 5-4, Chapter 5, Map 4, which, in my opinion, is maybe the most fun map, in, like, design-wise, of the entire game. I love 5-4. And let's talk about why. So first off, these bounce pads. Boing! If you end your turn on one, your unit gets yeeted to the other quadrants of the map. That allows for slow units like Helmetor to make huge leaps and get right into the action. Whereas otherwise, he's slow and have a hard time getting over it. Thing number 2, the wind. Every third turn, this happens. Every single unit on the map is knocked a random distance in a random direction. So again, you might be thinking, Turtle, that's RNG, that's bad. No, that makes it interesting. Basically, I have to reroute my decisions every 3 turns to try and figure out where I'm going and what I'm doing. It makes this map super duper dynamic and like really strategic if you like want to dig into the weeds, which I do. I love digging into weeds. It's like, it sounds like, you sound like a gardener. No, I'm just a speedrunner. It's weird. But yeah, so I'm basically just rethinking. I've never seen this configuration before. Never will see it again because it's just so chaotic. And then lastly, the objective. You might notice that all of my units have a little icon over them. So we have now grabbed Yosef's eye, and we need to escape. We need to abscond forever from this building. You go here. You're stunned. That's mean. And the best way to escape is through this giant open pit in the floor of the, Mount Twins is like a sky bank vault security prison base thing. It's in the sky. It has a big hole in the floor. And OSHA mandates that if an employee works in a space with a big open hole in the floor, that employee must at all times carry a parachute on them that will allow them to, safely fall. OSHA also mandates that if a unit is killed, they must drop their parachute so that I, who killed them, and I'm the good guys, by the way, can pick up the parachute and use it for myself. So, since we have 5 units, we will be taking out 5 enemies, grabbing 5 parachutes, and then making our escape. So, it is really interesting in which enemies you decide to prioritize to kill. You obviously want enemies that are low health, but also enemies that are close to your units. Because if I murder someone who's far away from everyone, well, I'm not actually able to pick up their parachute very easily. So I specifically gave Helmetor that first parachute because his movement is slow. It's hard to give him a parachute. The fact that he already has one is very, very nice. But yeah, it's just, this chapter is so dynamic. There's so much going on. Almost hard to talk about even. But yeah, I love this chapter. If I mentioned that I love this chapter, I love this chapter. And there is another glitch that I'm hoping we will be able to trigger. I don't know exactly what causes it. But on occasion, if your unit walks over a parachute and picks it up, normally the parachute just spawns and, you have to find another parachute to use. But on occasions, you will get a parachute that doesn't despawn. That is the infinite parachute. Yes, actually moved down here. So you'll get a parachute that doesn't despawn, and you can have every single one of your units walk over it and pick it up. That is an infinite parachute. I have no idea what caused it, but if I can get one early on in the chapter, it'll save a boatload of time. Unfortunately, it was not to be the case in this instance. You body block them a little. Yeah, no, it's just random. But we do have all 5 units have parachutes, and so now, one last terrible wrinkle in the plan. It's a giant floating baby head. I call him that because he makes little baby noises when you hit him. It's very funny. You might be able to hear it over the sound of me talking about the video game that I'm playing. But yeah, if we have all 5 of our units attacking Marshall, we can almost always, I think there's only one run I've ever had happen where a full 5-man team doesn't knock Marshall out. that Ka and Da Marshall is defeated. And we are on our way to Chapter 6. So, every 3 to 5 chapters, the home base will move, and that is very likely to have happened here. So I might now be on an entirely different overworld map, on an entirely different position. I also might be on the same overworld map, in the same position. You can move to the same spot. That has happened to me before in a run. But nope, okay, entirely new map, entirely new position. This is not a great position. If we're on the map, I think we're on... ooh, this is a Jerkin. This is a pretty good chapter 6 location. I don't know if it's a good chapter 6. We'll deal with that later, because right now we are in chapter 6, which is the scariest chapter in the speedrun. We'll get into why exactly that is later, but for now, just keep your butts ready, everyone, because oh boy, chapter 6 can go awry. But what's map 2? Map 1. Okay, after chapter 5, right, which was, you know, big, extensive stealth chapter, what do you, dearest audience, think that the developers have decided to do for chapter 6? Oh, did you possibly guess, a stealth chapter? Because if you did, congratulations, you are correct. Your prize is a stealth chapter. I'm being a little bit facetious. It's not that bad. You can actually make this one a combat chapter if you want, but it's slow. So, you know, speedrunners don't, and that means we just do this chapter normally, which is actually pretty nice for the next part, because like I said, chapter 6 is very scary, and so we save a lot of health by not doing the fight on this map. So I just have to not walk into any of the spaces around the bases. Hey, that happens. Spaces around the bases. If I do, that'll, you know, knock the base down. The guards go, huh? What? Did I just hear the base get knocked over? And they come and they punch you in the face. It's really mean of them. So we're instead going to sneak up on... Oh! Hey, look who it is! It's Jerkamedes! Lore update! Hooray! So, Yosef found his other eye, and his other eye told us that the person who will give us a spaceship is... Jerkamedes! Yeah, that same guy who've been running into over and over, who told us to murder some old people, and who we gave an orphan to, he also has a spaceship. Well, how convenient. This one character just solved plot critical. It's great. So, he, however, really wants to have a relaxing, calm, peaceful spa day, and we are not having it. We're not having it. So, we're going to explode him to death. Because the power of extreme violence is the only real method we have of getting things done in the game. So, aside from, you know, completing the stealth chapter faster, there are a couple of reasons we send Pixie up solo. Two main reasons, in fact. First off, Jerkamedes has a chance to inflict confusion every time he attacks and every time he does the thing I'm about to talk about. Which, again, confusion means you can attack your allies, so being alone means that there aren't any allies to attack, don't have to worry about confusion. Another thing is, you've seen this happen. Every time Jerkamedes takes damage, he poops. He teleports to a random space in a huge AoE, basically the entire top half of the map. So if you have a weak unit hit him first, he'll teleport away, and your strong unit will miss. Bad news. So we just send up our strongest unit, who just blasts him down in 3 direct hits. We had 1 near miss because of the AoE, which didn't deal enough damage, but still, pretty good Jerkamedes RNG. He will be an enemy unit in the next fight, where all the same stuff applies. The teleportation and the massive AoE, except it's the entire map instead of the top half. And the confusion that he can cause. He is, well, he's a jerk. That's his character arc. He's a jerk. Jerkamedes. So yeah, the devs very much knew what they were doing when they made him like the worst possible enemy to fight with all of his gimmicks. It's great. We stand the jerk. You can get his weapon, which actually does contain that property. You can have the gimmick weapon with the confusion on it in real life. But, okay, Chapter 6, Map 2. Jerkamedes runs away to his house because he doesn't want to give us a spaceship. And we chase him because we need a spaceship. We are the good guys. Remember, we're trying to save a child. And he'll spawn between 4 and 7 robots. And I know how to count. That's 7. That's the maximum spawn. Yay. No, yay. Anti-yay. Sad. The reason why robots are so scary, and why I'm so sad that we got the maximum number of them, is because of this game's elemental system. So, much like Pokemon, there are a bunch of different types of attacks, and some attacks hurt other units more than the others. So, for example, Pixies deal fire damage. Fire is super effective and deals bonus damage against fur-type units. We're both paralyzed? I have 3 paralyzed units? Are you kidding me? What if it's RNG? Ugh. Yeah, fire deals bonus damage against fur. The robots have electricity damage, which deals basically double damage to pixie units in particular. So, you know, my main, strongest DPS unit is just taking double damage, and is a glass cannon, so it doesn't have a lot of health to begin with. You know, bad news to have a bunch of robots attacking your pixie. And the AI knows this. The AI will specifically target your pixie, as we can see here. Oh my god, look at those dodges! Let's go, pixie! Pixie absolutely balling here with them jukes. We stand some pixie jukes. Because once we take out half of the enemies rounded down, which we have more than done, the enemies will warp away. And because we're the good guys, we're going to do property damage! Woohoo! Because again, Jerkmedes is not wanting to let us use his spaceship, which we need for, you know, story lore reasons. You're paralyzed. Can they stop getting the paralysis effect? That is like a low chance, especially on the chain lightning attack that they do. That's like single-digit % chance. How did they get that? Whatever. RNG Jesus, man. RNG Jesus takes the wheel, and sometimes you just gotta play it where it lies, Squidward. Play it where it lies. But yeah, so again, we need him to give us, so we commit property damage, like the heroes we are. And after we destroy 4 of his machines, Jerkmedes will teleport out of the corner, and will spawn in a new wave of enemies. So robots are gone, huge sigh of relief. Our Pixie is still at a very good amount of health after the robot phase, which, that is not always the case, you know? Sometimes you can just have your Pixie just get obliterated, especially with 7 robots. So, we will be moving on to humans. So basically, what this chapter does is it repeats that loop 3 times. You have to destroy half the enemies rounded down, or half of Jerkmedes' health, which is actually pretty hard considering he constantly teleports away. So I think in this chapter in this case I can get it well, just because Helmator is only able to target him, or miss because he has a high evasion chance because he's a jerk. But yeah, once we defeat either one more enemy or get a counter hit on Jerkmedes, there we go. He will teleport away. We will get to do a little bit more property damage on these 4 machines, and then after that we will do it one more time with these 4 machines down bottom. And before we get to that 3rd wave, I want to talk about that, but this is time for a small throat break and a donation in America. Sure. So again, the developers really knew what they were doing with this chapter, making it the hardest. Because Wave 1 was robots, very scary, but only because I have a Pixie. Wave 2 was humans, I didn't care. Wave 3. Oh boy. So, this wave spawns in Cyclopses, which I've already mentioned are some of the strongest units in the entire game. They're huge, like DPS, just big Unga Bunga boys. They're quite strong. Pixies as well. The glass cannons who deal a lot of damage. Very strong. Jerkmedes will also spawn in every 3 turns some trolls, which, like Cyclopses, I mentioned earlier, are very strong. So they deal quite a set of damage. I'm not even saying it. And they will heal when they're despawned every few turns. So they'll constantly be healing, and very rude. Lastly, these mascots, who we've seen before, but they are, by themselves, not one of the strongest units in the game. They are buffers, though. Every unit that stands next to them gets a little up arrow, which means they deal more damage, have better evasion, etc., etc. So, very scary wave, and we completely obliterated it, because I already, I knew what it... we're just going to survive. That's fine. Basically, they destroyed the last machine with the enemy's turn, and that caused the game to bug out a little bit. But it's fine. We have now done a lot of property damage, enough that a giant rock falls in Jerkmini's head and knocks his hat off. So before, with his hat on, he was an evil jerk wizard. Now that his hat is off, he is an evil normal wizard. Yep. And now that he's not a jerk, he is going to give us his spaceship, which was actually his house. Like, the property that we were just destroying is the spaceship. Luckily, it has an auto repair function, so we can actually complete the plot.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
But,
good job.
Yeah, that is the end of the Jerkamides saga. As we make our way up to the base one last time. And what? 20 seconds. Wiggle room. God, if I get another world record while submitting for a marathon, I would be so stoked. But we would have to get a really good Chapter 7. So, because Chapter 7 can just... I mean, this game still has RNG. Like, that's what the game is. It's just RNG and reactions and trying to figure out what's going on, and everything is chaos, and I love it. But... So... Yep, that's the Jerk Dome. Like I said, it's a spaceship. You can just see it do some spaceship things with the little spaceship nozzles on its spaceship. Spaceship. It's a spaceship. Did I mention it's a spaceship? Because it's a spaceship.
Yeah, careful, Blackbait truck.
We're going.
Scrape back,
Oh, hey, look. Welcome back to the Bloodbath Lagoon. We don't need to go there again. We do get past this guy. I'm trying to save some nitro for the ending segment. But, okay, yep, we should be here good to get to Chapter 7, The Bear. Warning, this quest will end the story. Are you prepared? Yes, I am. Are you, dear audience, prepared? Because here goes nothing. Welcome to the Bear. So, Chapter 7, Map 1 starts with us having a bunch of allies. Both the Helmetites and the CHOG followers. We have earned their respect, or whatever, throughout the game, and they will be joining us for this mission. Unfortunately, they're useless. Their AI is big scaredy cat. They do not like to go into damage. If there's a chance that an environmental effect might hurt them, oh no, they don't want to run up and get hurt. Oh no. So they're slow, and that's slightly unfortunate, but we will make do as best we can anyway. Luckily, one of the units that they give is a Pixie, and Pixies are the goated sauce unit for this chapter. Specifically because, if you remember what I said 10 minutes ago, in the elemental systems, Pixies deal damage that is super effective to fur. We are currently on the back of a giant space bear. Fur, 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 fur. You get the point. There's a lot of fur, and the Pixies doing AoE fire damage can just tear through the fur if you get lucky with their target priority. And this AI isn't going to body block this spot. Oh, we might actually have a maybe world record contender run. I still need to get lucky. There's still some chaos that can happen, but them not body blocking me is huge. Because the AI can just sometimes decide to just stall your run by just standing in this spot and you can't go through. But I will be able to get through, specifically with my Pixie, who again, massive AoE fire damage to this very flammable fur. Because our target, which, okay, there's a little bit of a cutscene where we're introduced to a mini-boss here. Hi, Ursa Minor. You're a mini-boss. Mini as in tiny. You're a liver bear, kind of like this stuffed bear. Upside down. Like this stuffed bear. I love the plushies. They're all over my floor now. But yeah, the objective is up here. This star, which is blockaded by, more fur, because space bear. So, by just getting our Pixie up here ASAP as possible, we are going to evaporate this fur, or flash fire, incinerate. That's a good word. Ooh, incinerate this fur. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. Da 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 da.
Get off me!
I'm a little bit insane. It's fine. Yeah, we just send our pixie up. I'm gonna reevaluate. Is like that. And while our pixie starts over here, let's talk about these hair bombs, because they're actually a very crucial part of the strategy for this chapter. Every time you destroy a fur, there's a chance that a hair bomb will spawn, and the turn after it spawns, it will detonate like that. I know I said the AI is like very, very afraid of things like the hair bomb, but okay, those hair bombs are actually legitimately scary. They do about 50 damage to every tile around them, which is a lot. That can OHKO some units like pixies. So I also want to avoid those. The good thing about those hair bombs is that they automatically destroy any fur next to them. So if you get a hair bomb inside of a clump of fur, that hair bomb will rip away that fur for you, which is really handy dandy. We want that to happen, although it's never guaranteed. It's just a random chance thing sometimes. You know, like all the random chance things in this game, that's full of random chances. Like I mentioned, like 8 different times. What is this character? That's a bomb. Yeah, that's a bomb. Hi. Yeah, even Helmetoll, who's a super tank, does not want to stand on top of Ron. That would be quite sad. So, the big factor that I'm trying to do in this very, very late stage game is just math. So, every spot that can hit the star, I want to be in, but every spot also has a chance to attack the other nearby fur or the enemies. I am specifically trying to think of... Oh, that was a good scratch. This has a 1 in 3 chance. He's melee, doesn't have a chance. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the best possible odds for the Pixie to hit this star, which unfortunately not going very well right now. Pixie is deciding to attack all this fur down here instead, which likely just ended the world record attempt. But no worry, this is still a great time. So, I'm very, very pleased with how this run has gone. Yeah. Sometimes the game just says, no world record. And sometimes the game just says, yeah, you just like, I think the world record actually was like, I saved like 2 minutes over the previous one when I got to 109. It's insane. But
I don't know what you're doing.
We are now starting to hit the star, which conveniently does heal all the units nearby. So I don't need to worry super much about, you know, taking all the damage from these guys. So again, look at the AI. Look at the AI. Look at these cowards. You are helping like nothing. All these enemies up here, I have to deal with myself because you're not good enough and helpful enough and friendly enough and stuff. I don't know. I'm sad. I'm sad, guys. I just want help from the AI Pixie. You can explode things. We are hitting Saw a little bit more. That again sends out some more heal waves, which is great because if Horatio dies here, I will actually be quite sad. But okay, none of the AI is going to attack him specifically because the enemy AI is also coward, so they're not going to go near this guy. Which good. He's still very, very, very low. It's fine. Sometimes this game just scares me, man. But with like one good Pixie hit on the fire, nope, the Pixie decides to hit someone else. One more time. We have just gotten really bad AI this chapter. They decided to follow me instead of targeting these cowards down here, which that's just the thing they can do. Hit people RNG in a nutshell. But this one almost certainly will be enough as Helmetoll is in attacking range, and Helmetoll's damage is quite bigly. So once we hit the star, a little bit more. Ta and Da as we move into the final map of the game. Chapter 7, Map 2. So, we lose the allies. I don't really care about that because they were cowards and useless anyways. We also get fully healed. So, all of the low health and the bleeding status doesn't matter anymore. And we are now just going to blitz straight for the finish line. Straight for the finish line with one caveat. So, since the game doesn't give you a bunch of allies to help you take out the fur, the game does something else for you instead. This isn't something that the game tells you about, but as a speedrunner who's played this game, looks at the tracker too many times. Actually, not enough times. I need to play this game even more to use it. I'm gonna play each speed if I can. Wow, he got knocked that far. I am going to move in a very specific pattern here to try and get... okay, that hair bomb is fine, actually. That hair bomb is a little unfortunate, but... Yes, stand here, very good. I am going to move away and specifically let turn 3 happen. So if you... Actually, no, this guy's fine. Here, because on turn 3, every turn 3 of this chapter, 2 events will happen. 1, reinforcements. I don't care about those. They're behind me. I'm blitzing forward. But these, the lawnmowers, those are on fixed paths, and they send all fur in the way just gets evaporated, and all enemies in the way, obviously, you know, move out of the way. They get knocked back. I don't want to have these things that way. That's an unfortunate bomb, but don't worry about it. So that leaves both of these paths open for me to just run straight down, no body blocking. We unga that bunga, baby. And our final objective awaits. It's not actually the start. The game's going to do a little bit of sneaky eye to you. It's this person. All I have to do is destroy that person. Which with a lucky pixie AoE can just happen on any given turn that the pixie is close. So we're going to get on up there, and we're going to praise RNG Jesus. Praise. I can't use my other hand because it needs to be holding the mouse to sit style on. But before we get up there, the final boss of the game spawns. This is Ursa Major. Ursa Major is the type of unit known as a troll mom. And troll moms are, you know, these big, hairy trolls that take up a lot of space. They're very, very tanky. They have a ton of health. They also spawn in some minions. However, troll moms are furry. They have fur. And that means they're weak to fire damage. And since they're big, they take multiple hits from AoE attacks. So having an AoE fire damage user is ridiculously good. Pixies are the best unit in the entire speedrun. Not only just because they're like glass cannons and great, but this entire map is just like based around Pixies being good. They are MVP hands down bar none. Luckily we don't even need to beat the final boss. We can just, you know, unga bunga blitz to the end. That was a really good AoE to destroy the fur in one shot. It's a bomb! Yay! Time is not now, by the way.
Let's
and so
see.
we time travel back to the beginning of the intro that I skipped earlier. Time travels in the universe. Don't worry about it. And so we save Han Solo before he even gets kidnapped. Ta-da! We have now saved our son. That was the entire goal of the game. And I mentioned Pippi's dad died in the intro. Well, as long as we're time traveling, let's go save him too. Let's go save everyone. Save all of our friends except the animals. Kill the animals. Save the frames.
Look out, because there's
which
like
is
a
why I'm using
billion
Nitro.
pieces
You
of
can
my
just use
best
Nitro in the
friend raining down all
ending
over
section.
you. Go to her.
Even though you
Save
don't have
your
your
friends. Don't worry about me. It's only an eternity in space. I have my crossword puzzles.
As we blitz through and time will be coming up in
You're almost
5,
there.
4,
Run,
3, 2,
run like you
1,
didn't forget
time.
anyone else when you made
1,
that
1,
wish.
1, 1,
Anyone.
5. Oh, only I could have saved 4 seconds. No, that is a great time. That is an amazing time. I think I've only had like 2 times
Well,
better than
hooray
this
for
ever
you
or something
guys.
like that.
All your
This
dreams
is a
came
great
true.
time.
What about my dream?
So yeah, that's Pit People. In a marathon run, shoutouts go off to my cousin Debro29, who I forced to play this game with me for the co-op world record because I wanted to play more of this game. We also played it casually together. He's just not a speedrunner, so he has no idea. He's not speedrun savvy and doesn't like watch, but he was willing to learn this run for me, and thank you so much to him. But There's not really a community for this game. This game is weird and niche. There's some like competitive stuff that goes down in the arena, but not like a speedrun community. I'm the only person on the leaderboards who's actively playing this game. But you, DWO, you could be the next one! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! I made a guide for this game. Again, I'm making maps of the overworlds, so I really want more people to play this game and love this game as much as I do, because I absolutely adore it with all my heart. So much. I don't know, this game is great. This game is so funny. Shout out to the Behemoth for making this game. They've also sponsored GDQ in the past, because they're just a good company who, one of the reasons I got into speedrunning was because of the GDQ couch dev commentary that they did for PJ and Mecha Richter's Battle Block Theater co-op run in like 2014 or whatever. Like that was the big thing, one of the big things that got me into speedrunning, and so I would be so honored to be able to play one of their games on the GDQ stage and show it off to the world. Especially if it goes this well. Yeah, no, this one was great. I don't know. It was great. Like, you can see my splits. I was green for most of the time. The world record had gold Chapter 6 and Chapter 7, though, so it's very hard to beat that without, like, a minute and a half of time saved on going into those, but yeah. That's Pit People. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My name is TurtleRun212. I'm in the volunteer chat. I'm in several previous GDQ chats. Find me on Discord. I'm not on Twitter or anything because Twitter sucks. It's all social media in general sucks. But that is all I think I have. I should probably stop prolonging this outro because it's the end. So I hope you have a great day, week, month, year, and I hope you have a great rest of your life. Whoever is watching us from the GDQ submission team. Thank you for considering Pit People, and I hope to see you live at AGDQ 2025. Until then, bye-bye. One more plushie, bye-bye.